Welcome back to CEO Chat. My name is Alcini.
I'm still Joe Asamendi.
Just like always.
Just like always.
He's always still Joe Asamendi.
Yes, I am.
And you are still Tom Scurria. Just before the break, Tom, you were filling us in on your experience, which is operations, marketing, business strategy, over a long, I mean, you look younger than all the decades of experience you just outlined.
There are a lot of long teeth here.
Why don't you finish up with what you believe, what everybody needs to know about what your background is, and then we'll move
Forward.
The last part in our mark is part of that strategic process is we also learned that there was a problem in how one of the businesses we're operating in. They were operating retail gift shop operations, kind of in a food service mentality. You never have sales in food service, bro. Retail turnover of inventories. You always have broken size, color buys. So you use sales. So I created a strategic plan, a business plan where we looked at bringing in a whole bunch of resources, capturing a lot of data, new point of sale equipments, and doing what I really enjoyed more, which was the resource and people issues, even though my background is heavily financial. Planning. It was a great time.
Well, and actually that's a really good point, because a lot of what you're talking about really has to do almost more with HR than with just numbers.
Yeah, it's always fascinating. I mean, I really like the people and as I said, the resources.
That's important. That has to be part of the strategy. So.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So then I left our mark in 2003 after they went public. Started up we looked at a whole bunch of business, but became a franchisee of a major fast food chain in the last 10, 11 years, up to 2 years ago. And we have 11 locations. We started up gate out of the wall, unbelievably start up in 2006, 2007. Economy goes south. Lots of people start to fail. And so we spent a lot of time leaning on all those experience levels we've had. And we survived, but it wasn't easy. Refinanced everything, renegotiated everything. And I've made payroll out of my own pockets. Talk about ownership. I get ownership now. And I will tell you now, I'm a way better businessman today after the last 10, 11 years. Because with our mark, we had all that support. We had nothing here. So we went from the bottom up.
Sure.
So I get ownership, and I get the mindset of CEOs and founders whose necks are on the line.
That's key, and that's it. So if somebody out there wants to engage you, then the first conversation, I'm assuming, is no charge, no risk.
Absolutely.
Just
correct.
to get to know Tom Scurria. And a little later on, at the very end of the program, you can tell everybody how to reach you and how to email you and phone you. But that conversation really does center around, I don't want to say center around anything in particular. You're going to ask the hard questions that probe for the real root cause of the problem that that company might be having. So in a lot of ways, you help people who've been in the executive suite for a long time. They have blind spots and biases and things that they've overlooked because it's just sort of the nature of it. And so you help them x-ray all that. Is that right?
Get an honest look at what's really going on.
Sure. I have a utmost respect for founders and CEOs because they're super talented. But no human has necessarily gets exposed to all that. To your point, may have biases, and we all get blind spots, or we haven't been. I've been blessed to be exposed heavily in the planning side, heavily in the financial side, in operations. I'm not a marketing expert, but I can sharp enough to understand that. So I think my ability is to see a whole picture really fast, analyze it, figure out what's wrong. Not wrong, what's needed.
Figure out what's needed.
And help guide the individual, the organization through that. I've been blessed because that's how my career developed.
That's terrific. I mean, that's really in line with everything you've done when you work for the large corporations that you mentioned.
Yeah, it's the vision, as I mentioned Joe Neubauer, he had the brilliance to push ownership down. Now, going back to the ownership culture idea, and the strategy, is your business capturing all the lowest actionable data? Okay, when I mean that, by the step or the process. And then you've got to sit back and say, every one of those steps or processes adding value, or are they neutral, are they losing value? You want to kind of get away with the ones that are losing value. You may have the ones that aren't adding value, but maybe break even might be the cost of doing business. I got to have a plan that's up.
Okay.
And emphasize the ones that are adding value. And obviously, it's almost like a Six Sigma concept.
Sure. Okay.
And you put it on a chart, time and value. Where do I go after first?
Right.
So, but you drive those good things, those positive things, into the compensation structure. So ownership can mean I'm motivated to do the correct things. If, for instance, a retail manager, I'm motivated to drive sales and have an inventory turnover so I can do sales and flip product
Exactly.
and drive more volume.
Right, that makes sense.
Or, you know, example, because I know of food service a lot. You know, my mystery shops are high.
Right.
I've got ideal product cost.
Mm-hmm.
The customer's happy. I'm not getting, on the phone call lines, I'm not getting the 800 number, a whole bunch of complaints.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Build that into the compensation structure. At our locations, and, you know, because we're at risk for it, I might have $1.5 million capital cost involved in this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hire a $30,000 a year manager. I want somebody joining at the hip with me.
Right.
So they get a base salary of 50,
Mm-hmm.
and using these other incentive things built into their compensation, they can double it.
Oh, good.
I want that guy joined at my hip in the vision.
Absolutely.
Everybody's got to have some skin in the game.
Yeah.
Skin in the game is everything.
Right.
Okay, we're coming up on the end of the program. IAWL, really quickly, what does that mean?
It's my wife and I's favorite movie. It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a
It's a wonderful life. Okay.
It's Christmas. It's this time of year.
Absolutely.
So,
You know how many angels wings there are when you come up with a logo?
oh,
Countless.
really?
Incidentally, that movie, the first choice for James Stewart was actually Cary Grant. Did you know that?
Yes, I did actually.
There you go.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
They're both brilliant actors.
That's cool.
Both brilliant actors.
Okay, great. So we're at that part of our program where you get to look right in your camera, which is that camera right there, and tell everybody how to reach you, why they should call you. Go ahead, Tom.
Again, my website is iwladvisory.com. I think we've talked about how and why the business metrics I want to go for. You can reach me on LinkedIn, Tom Scurria, and I look forward with discussing anybody's issues and talking with any potential clients.
Tom Scurria, absolutely a pleasure
pleasure.
having you on the program.
Thanks
Thank
for
you for
having me.
joining us
My
today on
pleasure.
CEO Chat. Thank all of you for tuning in to listen to Tom and get to know him a little better on CEO Chat this morning. My name is Alcini,
I'm Joe Osamendi.
and this is our last program for 2017. So have a very Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year.
Yes, please have a safe weekend and a great holiday, and join us next year. And thank you so much for being part of our audience.
Thank you. It's just great. Thanks very much.
Bye.
Thank you.